Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of DB Talks on the channel. I am happy to tell you we are finally doing the Deadpool Wolverine review video. Sad thing is, I'm by myself again. I don't know when I'm seeing him again. So, my partner and I, we will probably do a breakdown video, if anything, because he still needs to get his rating in. But this will be how I see the movie, and I have to say, I saw it a couple times. So it might be biased of me for what I say. So, Deadpool and Wolverine. We see a broken Deadpool and a broken Wolverine put together. And Deadpool's reason, he believes he doesn't matter. And with Wolverine's reason, he is said to be a huge letdown, and he believes he's the reason why everything in that universe went badly. And I really like the ending for that because when you think of it now, and I saw this as a video, someone posted this, and I thought about it. So at the end, there's like antimatter and matter put into the equation. You have Deadpool being the one to grab the matter part, which makes sense because Deadpool believes he doesn't matter. And then you have Wolverine who grabs the antimatter, and this makes sense for his character because he is a person who believes he's been a huge letdown, who was, to a lot of people, he mattered, but he failed them. So anyway, besides that, there's anchor beings introduced. There's cameos galore. And of course, we have a nice buddy movie, in my opinion, but at the same time, it's very emotional at points with Deadpool's story, Wolverine's backstory in this. And then you just, I don't know. I really did feel like emotional at some points with these two characters. So, the characters, I'll get into that part. Actually, before I talk about the characters, story, and whatnot, anchor beings, I figure I'd talk about anchor beings because someone asked me about how they work because they were a little confused, which I don't blame them. There wasn't much to be put in the movie, so I'm just going off of what they said. Anchor beings, if they die, the timeline dies with them. But the only difference is timelines take a few thousand years before they are officially erased, which means the timeline will live on. So say that if Tony Stark is the anchor being of the MCU, the timeline is still thriving until a couple of thousand years. And is Tony Stark the anchor being that MCU? I don't know. I don't believe so. If what people are saying is true, it is most likely Tom Holland's Spider-Man, which I wouldn't be shocked by. We have Tobey Maguire being an anchor being. We have Andrew Garfield being an anchor being. I say this because those are the only movies from that franchise, so you kind of figure. Anyway, the characters. Deadpool and Wolverine are given emotional background to why they're like this in this movie. And Wolverine, I don't know why. I felt like with this is similar to like the beginnings of Old Man Logan. What I mean by this is the comic version. In the comic, Wolverine kills all the X-Men, but he's still like the normal look you see in Wolverine. Like he still has the regular hair and you know, but he's not Old Man Logan yet. This is before he became Old Man Logan, when he's older and having issues with his powers and body. And I don't know why, but yeah, I just felt that way about him. So, besides those two characters, which are really the main part of this whole film, you have like the first half being about Deadpool, you have the second part being about Logan, and then you have in the ending, it's about both of them. which I thought was a pretty good mix because having two main characters for a movie, I feel like that's kind of hard for you to like focus on both characters in the same length of time. The reason I say this because like the Marvels, for example, they were having three main leads, and you have one of them just being there because her power is what brings her there. That's really it. There's no story to her. So was it a waste of time? I don't know, but that's what I mean. It's kind of hard to do more than one main lead. So the fact they were able to do it with Deadpool and Wolverine, I think that was a good thing, and it was a really cool experience to have. If you haven't seen it already, go see it. I really think you should have the experience in theaters to get what everyone's talking about, why everyone loves it so much. We mentioned Deadpool, Wolverine, Cassandra Nova being the villain. She did not need emotional background for me. She just needed, to be a villain. I get people who are like, she's not that good because she doesn't have anything going for her. Like, why is she a villain in the first place? If you notice, she was put there since she was a child, and she loved it because she thrived as a tyrant. But the TVA, or Paradox specifically, stepped on her side of the fence, so she was upset about it. You know how you have like someone who's living next door and they're like they see you in their yard or something? Wouldn't you be they would be upset that you're there and they would chase you out. This is similar except with Cassandra Nova. She is like more killing kind of type. And Deadpool even asks what is wrong with her at one point in the film. And she even says, I honestly don't know. So she was a good villain to me. She just had to be the bad guy. I really just needed a bad guy for this movie because, like I said before, Deadpool and Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, and Ryan Reynolds, they have great chemistry. They are carrying the film with their character arcs. So I didn't think I needed other characters like Cassandra Nova to be like a huge part of the film with her arc. So it works in some cases, like you have Killmonger, you have Thanos, but sometimes you just need a villain who needs to be a villain. A bad guy, whether it has a reason for it or not. Then you, of course, have Paradox, who is the reason why they're in the void in the first place. And I don't know why, but when I hear Paradox offering Deadpool a chance to get into the MCU, and then like you hear about like other characters being offered that same chance, I honestly just kept laughing at the idea of what if Paradox is just representing Disney and Marvel Studios, just giving the key to anyone in the Fox universe and saying, "Here you go. You can join us now." It's been a good couple of years. I think you deserve a chance in the MCU. I just thought that was funny. And then him pruning the time, trying to prune a timeline, and that's like saying, "Okay, the Fox is gone. They're not needed anymore. Let's get rid of them." I don't know. I'm thinking too much into it. So we have cameos. We have Laura from Logan come back as X-20. We have X-23 from Logan come back, and it is that same version of her. We have Elektra from Jennifer Gardner's character from the Elektra or Daredevil movie. We have Blade. Wesley Snipes coming back it was a cool thing to see, and then especially with his first line being just something funny. It was good. So we also have Gambit coming in. Channing Tatum finally has a chance to play Gambit after so many years of trying to get his solo Gambit film into production. He even jokes about it in the film when Elektra Blade, like they're all talking about how they wanted to be heroes in their universe and like have a legacy. Gambit says, or tried to be, and I Same, like I said before, I think I'm thinking too much into this. But immediately when I heard this, I thought about like Channing Tatum, like meaning that because, like I said, his solo movie was supposed to come out a while ago, like a almost a decade ago. I think it was announced in 2016, actually. So the fact like it's been so long, and he finally had that opportunity, and he really did love this character. He wanted to play this character. You can see in the like when he's doing the stunts for it, he actually is trying for it. He's trying to make sure you have a great experience with this character. He does a great accent for Gambit's Cajun accent too. I liked it. If anyone didn't, I just want to hear it better because I can't do it. Um, any other? Well, of course you have Deadpool's friends. You have Colossus come back, but they're only in the beginning and then at the end, so it's not really a big thing for them. You have Human Torch, Johnny Storm, Chris Evans coming back. Gives us one of the best post-credit scenes we've seen in the past 2 to 3 years. It was just really funny. And it's also like a callback to a previous thing in the movie. So I liked it. I liked it a lot. But I wish he had more screen time. But of course, Deadpool's right. He's way too much for the budget. We have Matthew McConaughey as a Deadpool variant, Cowboy Deadpool specifically. You have Nathan Fillion as Headpool. You have I forgot Ryan Reynolds' wife, Blake Lively. We have Blake Lively as Lady Pool. We have his daughter, Ryan Reynolds' daughter, plays Kid Pool. It was actually gonna be Walker Scobell from Percy Jackson and Adam Project, but his voice got deeper, so they couldn't do it. I was like thinking maybe do Teen Pool. That would work. I don't know. It's just Walker's a funny actor, and he played off like a young Ryan Reynolds so well. Like I felt like he could have at least made some kind of cameo in it. And we also have Baby Pool, which is Ryan Reynolds' actual baby, but then like CGI added with it just because movement and whatnot. We had a future Deadpool 2099. We had, and then there's just some Deadpool variants just look like normal Deadpool. But we had Welsh Pool, which is actually played by a Wrexham football player, and they actually displayed that at Wrexham Stadium, which is pretty cool. We have, I think I'm just like thinking it now at this point. It's just these aren't played by people like that, so it's like, ugh, yeah, my mind's blanking. The only one I can think of besides that is Grace Showman Deadpool, which is just shown in like the background at one point. And finally, of course, we have Wolverine in his iconic suit. Actually, suits. We have a lot of cool Wolverine cameos in this film, including Henry Cavill as Calverine, which is pretty. I would have liked to see more screen time with him. There's rumors saying that he was supposed to have more, but they just had to cut it. Not Ryan specifically, Bob Iger, but that's a whole other discussion. Now, plot. I really, I really love this story for it. These two, like I mentioned a lot already, these two characters specifically carry the film with their arcs. I mean it, like these two are broken versions of these characters, and now they are just paired together while at their lowest, and then finally at the end they feel like they matter or like I've done this and now I am official. I feel better now, you know, and I really think this was a well deserved happy ending. And like Ryan said, this is this doesn't need to be like setting up another Marvel movie. This just needs to stand on its own, and that's what's gonna sell tickets. And it did. This if they set up another sequel or like future project, of course it would get you hyped. But then you're like thinking, so I just sat through another movie just to wait for another one. And I think that's what they were thinking because some post-credit scenes, like the Marvels, for example, I know I keep talking about this movie a lot, not in a good way. It's just, it's just so recent, and it's just a good example. Because what I mean by this is because they show at the end of her movie, a post credit scene, the Beast is in it. We have, oh my god, I'm blanking on names, but it's the Beast actor from the X-Men movies in the 2000s. He comes back in a full CGI version of the Beast, which looks cool. I really want to see him in the future, especially that look of the character on live action. In live action would be cool. Now, thoughts. I personally love this movie. I have seen it 4 times already. I'm probably gonna go on the trend of seeing it more than 5, but I'm gonna be honest. I'll probably stop at 5. It's just I'm not going to see that much. Is that it's a great movie? It really is, but to see it more than 5 times in a theater is it's shocking. But I don't blame anyone. Like I mentioned, I think people should really experience this in theaters. It's such a great experience. And to see it on the big screen, you have it's really the best way to see this movie. If you can see in IMAX or 3D, whatever, do it. It looks great. Now, my honest rating. Like I said, or I probably mentioned this in another time, this movie, I feel biased when I say this. To me, it's a 10 out of 10. It was such a great film for me. I loved it so much. And to give it something that is like an 8.5 at the lowest just feels wrong to me. If I had to like go down from 10, it would be a 9.5. It was just that great to me. I really did love this movie. And then like when you see at the end of it, and then of course when you think about like throughout the whole film, it really is a send off to what came before for Marvel. You had Blade, you had Fantastic Four, you had X-Men, you had a short-lived Daredevil and Elektra movie, and then you had, well, I'm not gonna mention Spider-Man because that's Sony, but you also had like another Fantastic Four spinoff, and then there's, like I said before, Channing Tatum's Gambit. His project never got made, so for him to be able to come on the set and just be able to film scenes for Gambit, I think that was really cool. And I, I'm gonna be honest, the ending in the credits where they just show you the X-Men and like Fantastic Four, you have the Fox universe like having a whole video saying goodbye. I really thought that was a special moment. It was really cool. But yeah, I give this movie a 10 out of 10. I think it was that good. What are your thoughts? Please let us know in the comments. We will eventually together talk about this movie and more about this what could happen. As for other videos concerned, it'll probably just be me for a while. And we had ideas to talk about D23, which happened a while ago. We were planning on talking about Doctor Doom, which happened a month ago as well. It's just we had so many ideas and we never got to film them. So now I'm doing this, which, is what it is. But yeah, that's pretty much the next couple of weeks. I'll probably be releasing them. So what happens, happens. You'll see it eventually. Thank you for watching this video.